It is so important if you are concerned about someone that you do not diagnose somebody. We receive calls at LCL, at least 50% of the time, the presenting issue that somebody calls about is wrong. So often people self-medicate for major depression with alcohol, with drugs. The best thing when you approach someone, and I will get to that and talk about it, is not to diagnose them. Your language is so important. So ultimately, I went on for 2.5 more years completely out of control. And my mom stepped out of my life. At this point, the other clerkship ended. And I was living at my dad's, like in his basement. Parents were separated. And from 2002 to 2004, I was arrested 5 times. 4 were for felony prescription fraud. 1 was for DUI. The DUI was driving under the influence of cocaine. I actually fell asleep while I was driving. And I was in doctor scrubs because I had picked up this doctor persona. I was in doctor scrubs, hit an actual doctor, another doctor on the road. And when the police were banging on my window, I had no idea what even happened. My car was in the trunk of their car and there was cocaine down my scrubs. And I had no idea why the cop was standing there or my car was in the other guy's car. So that's where addiction took me. January 29th, 2004, is my sobriety date. I want to back up. While I was in the crux of my addiction, I was literally, by the time January of 2004 rolled around, $2,000 of cocaine a week, 55 10 milligram pain pills a day, Ambien and Xanax every single day. I used to stare out my window at my dad's house and look, and the sun would be coming up, and I would see people walking their dogs and getting ready for work. And so help me God, I would literally say to myself, I would do anything to wake up instead of coming to walk any dog and to go to any job. And I truly, in my heart of hearts, thought that it was too late. The only way for me to get out of this was for me to die. And every day I woke up and I'm like, I'm still here. I still have to battle this. The greatest prison, and I went to jail, the greatest prison I was ever in was the prison of active addiction. It was a nightmare. Nobody goes to law school and says, hey, I want to go to jail for a year after I pass 2 bar exams and clerk on the Superior Court of Pennsylvania. It was not, once I lit a match of that addiction, I could not put it out. One thing I want to talk about really quick, one of the arrests for prescription fraud was in New Jersey, and this is the nature of addiction. I was held and released. My dog that was with me was held in the Atlantic County Pound. I left being released with 11 minutes left before 9 p.m. where I went to another pharmacy in the exact same county before it closed and picked up a prescription before I headed back to Philadelphia. That is the insidious nature of addiction. And thinking, wow, that was really lucky. God's grace was really with me. I was, at some point, didn't have a driver's license because my license was suspended because the DUI, was driving my car that has a vanity plate with my name on it through the drive-through pharmacy in which I called in the prescriptions to pick up a fictitious prescription in a car that I don't even have a driver's license. This is where addiction took me. I mean, the behavior is absolutely insane. So inevitably, January 29, 2004, I'm now arrested, 5th arrest. I knew I was going to jail. Previous to this, I'd been in jail for the DUI for 48 hours and 3 weeks. I also went to rehab 3 times. And on this date, the police come to my house, and as I was being arrested, the phone rang. And on the call, on the phone turned out to be, his name is Dave, a volunteer with LCL. And he basically talked to the detective that was arresting me, and the detective said, call her at the station, I'll let you talk to her. So we go to the police station. Of course, my dad was like, please don't handcuff her. You can't handcuff her. And they're like, she committed major crimes. We're handcuffing her, and they did, as they should have. And so I go to the police station, and literally the detective was typing the statement like this. I was starting to detox, and I said, I will type my own statement. Let me sit there. I will give you everything. 7 pages single-spaced. I gave every pharmacy, every doctor, every identity that I could remember. And then he put me in a holding cell. When I was in the holding cell, a gentleman called, and basically Dave said, I'm a volunteer with LCL, and I was asked to reach out to you, and I'm going to come and see you. I'm an attorney. I'm 31 years clean and sober. And so I'm like, am I going to have to work for this guy, or is he representing me? No, he was a person in recovery who served as a volunteer with the Lawyers Assistance Program. And all of the states in the United States have volunteers that serve as peer support for other people struggling.